we are, as adults, we are not capable of stopping ourselves at the point of anger, especially when something has happened huge. You're like, and stop doing it, stop shouting, because we as adults, we are quite often also think what other people would think about us as a parent. Mommy, I don't know, mommy. And then it starts the emotion, but you stay there, you stay in front of them, you hug, you hold whatever contact you're comfortable, whatever your child is comfortable with. You let them take it out and then find a solution. So there is a lot of sugar, okay? And sugar is the worst enemy for ADHD.
Our guest today knows what your child isn't telling you. Anna is Dubai-based child psychotherapist who decoded tantrums, soothed night terror, and even helped kids to describe their emotions they were not about to tell you. And I would like to welcome on board Anna. Anna, welcome on board, and let's deep dive in the little child's mind.
Good morning, Irina. My pleasure. Nice to meet you. Good morning, everyone.
Anna, can you tell us, share with us your story? How did it start? How did you decide to be child psychologist? What path it takes? What challenges did you face? Did you always like to and wish to work with kids? Or you had a turning point in your life?
My journey to psychology and to psychotherapy, I think, was quite interesting, and it was quite long way for me to come and reach right now where I am exactly. So basically, I'm originally Russian. I grew up and raised in Russia. I moved to Dubai in 2011. So I have been in Dubai from 2011, which is like approximately 14 years till today's moment. Though I have moved to UK to pursue my master degree in psychotherapy and psychology for 2 years. So I was based there. And then I came back to Dubai. My bachelor's degree was not as a psychologist, to be honest. But I think it was always my dream to be a psychologist. But in my family, it was kind of stigmatized. And it was stereotyped that psychology is like you see a psycho people, kind of. So I could not against my family and my family values. So it was kind of difficult, and I pursue my first degree as a finance. Okay. And then I had a drastic shift to psychology, which I'm so grateful to God on my universe, whatever you call it. I moved to psychology quite recent. I'm in psychology from 2019, so it's been like 6 years so far at the moment. I work with children, toddlers till adolescents, so I see from age of 2 up to age of 18. This is my major audience.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell me about, you mentioned that your family was stigmatized psychology path. Did it change now over the time when you became successful psychotherapist? Does it change now? Did they change their opinion on that?
I think it took them around, let's say, 3 years to change their opinion or perspective about psychology, because when I pursued my studies, everyone in my family was totally against it. I was not family supported. I was not supported with my friends, with my partner at that time. So it took me a lot of effort and a lot of, I think, power of will to change and go through it. But I was like, okay, I want to do it. I want to do it. I don't want to live my life just work home, and just overthink. I was thinking, okay, I'm still young, I still have this energy, I still have a potential, so I'm not losing anything. By the end of the day, I was like, okay, I can go back to my boring job that time and continue living my life kind of grayish. But I was like, okay, why not to take a risk? Because I think life is a small risk here and there, but which might take you to the path you never know, if you know what I mean, if it makes sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's interesting story. It's very interesting and fascinating to listen when a person take his path. He had enough uh, bravery to be. He's brave enough to take his path and follow it. Really impressive. Anna, can you tell me more about your UK study? You study in UK the psychology. Can you tell more about that time?
I studied my master in UK because right at that moment of time when I was looking for master of psychology, there was no program, and GCC, there was no such program in Middle East. Since I don't speak Arabic, so I could not approach such countries like Lebanon and Gulf. And in Dubai and for example in Abu Dhabi airline, there was no master program, so I had no kind of choice. And since I'm originally Russian, I was thinking to go back to Russia and change my career completely, but then as my final goal to work in Dubai, it would be very very difficult to get license, because license goes under CDA, which is a Community Development Authority, which is goes under medical section.
Did you get enough? Did you get what you were aiming to get? Did you get enough qualification, education? Did you get enough skills after this study? It was. Did you feel it was really hard to study that?
I think from my experience, UK studies I consider one of the best. Why? Because it's evidence based, it's very structured, it's very disciplined, it's very organized. So they take totally historical background, they build up a structure, they build up a foundation. So from my experience, I have studied in Russia, I have studied here in Dubai. I think UK and British education is one of the strongest. Yeah, not to be biased, of course.
Do you continue improving your studying? Do you keep studying? Do you get new knowledges? Because I feel that it's keep the psychology as well, keep updating, keep moving. There's new techniques, new skills you need to learn to be able to work with kids. Do you continue working on that, studying on that?
I think psychology is one of the fields which is continuously keep improving. So there are a lot of different techniques which are being developed, recontinued, re-established. So maybe the base of some techniques has been like centuries ago, but then it's been renewed, which is like coming as a different concept. And I totally, I do believe in that, and I think it's very important. To work on yourself and to learn new things, to upgrade yourself, because this is what life about. I think it's very interesting, and which I'm very passionate about.
Did you feel that working with the kids in Dubai, it's influence your way of work? But because it's multicultural place, there is a lot of nationalities, background of people. They came from different countries. So do you feel you need to adapt to different cultural details and differences?
I think 100% is very important to understand the family background. Of course, there are bilingual couples. So let's say mother from one country, father from another country. It's again mixed up, and where the child was raised and where the child was born. So I think it's very important to take the background of the family background of the mother and father, or let's say not their original nationality, but I think it's quite important where they've been raised. So a lot of people, let's say for example from Pakistan or from India originally, but they have been British citizens for 2-3 centuries, so I would not call them, or their mindset would be totally different from people who are from Pakistan or India. So they would be as a British national, you know what I mean? So I think it's very important to take into consideration from which background or from which mindset they're coming from. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us, Anna, do you often have to correct misconception about child psychotherapy? And is there a lot of misconceptions about this?
Misconceptions. I think if I come back to your question, the way it is, misconception, I think it's more of because each person, me, you, other people, each of us have like set of beliefs, kind of a framework. We see like this is how it should be, this is how it shouldn't be, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is not right. So I think this is the framework. So it's very important because my work is okay, it's with child, okay, but I cannot make any changes unless I work with a parent. Let's say I adapt, I teach a child new skills, soft skills, mindset, beliefs, and everything, and then they come home one,
right,
2,
yeah.
3, 4, 5 days, 1 week, and everything is gone. So what is it like? It's waste of money, it's waste of my time, it's waste of the parents' money as well, right? So I think it's very important to work with a parent and child together. And misconception, it's more of like explaining same thing, what you believe in, but maybe from just different perspective. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm talking.
Interesting. I feel it's very challenging to work with different nationalities, different culture, and adapt to be able to adapt to that. And Anna, can you tell me what is most common behavioral issue related to children? Uh, People coming with your clients coming with.
Nowadays, especially, it's a lot of patient clients who I see with a lot of anxiety.
Anxiety.
Whatever nationality, whatever age group, it's a lot of anxiety. And I think why it's a lot of anxiety, because we are living in very unstable time. There are a lot of things which keep changing, especially in Dubai, because this is the place. It's wonderful place, it's beautiful place, but everything is correlated. You have to rent a place, you have to buy property, you have to pay for education, you have to hire a caretakers like a nanny, think about providing a food, such things. When back in our countries, you have like more of social support, grandma, grandfather, you have a house or you have someone's house to go to live.
Do you mean that the child inherit anxiety from the parents in this case?
In this case, yes.
Yeah.
I ask, how do you feel? My first question when I see a parent, how do you feel? Not how's your child, is that how do you feel? And then I think it's very important to understand what exactly happening in the family, or how it's impacting on the child.
Anna, did you notice any mental health trends or changes after post-pandemic time?
I think post-pandemic time is a wonderful time for everyone because people started to take care about themselves. Okay, values of a lot of people have been changed in a way. They realize that life, we are not immortal. There is always an end. So they started thinking, okay, they started buying vitamins, they started going to more sport, they started take care of their body, reading more books, watching more healthy programs. So there are mental trends which are have been increased, and I think psychotherapy is one of them. People started to be more open-minded and speaking about that. Oh, I'm going to a psychologist or I'm going to a therapist, and it's kind of quite easier to speak. People are less stigmatized about it.
That's nice. Yeah. Can you tell me how do you understand if child case is his behavior, for example, is serious case, or it just a part of his behavior? Is there, how do you differentiate between that you need to pay attention to the child at that moment, or it's just a stage of his growing process?
How do I usually work is that I do minimum of 2 to 3 sessions, because it takes, first of all, it takes time to build the trust with the child, right? So they start to feel comfortable. It's like us, right? You can't say, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this, right?
Yes,
So same
right.
with the child. They start to feel comfortable, start to get at ease, they start playing, be open, share things, what's happening. Okay, I feel this, I feel that. So it's 2 to 3 sessions to understand what exactly happening. And on the third session, I usually have a conversation with the parent saying that, okay, I have noticed this, A, B, C, D. Have you noticed this at home? Have you noticed this at school? How long have it been? So I think it's important me highlighting the things which I see in the session. I see the feedback from a parent. I see how long the duration of each symptom. And then we can elaborate together to understand either it's a child development, either it's just a regular age crisis, or it's something has happened and it's been triggered by this specific situation. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, yes. And um, wanted to ask you about apart from anxiety, what is the most common issues as well people bringing their kids to work with?
Part of anxiety, a lot of issues with low self-esteem, confidence, which all of this anxiety with low self-esteem lead to depression. Okay, it's kind of funny to say, oh, child feeling depressed, right? Even like I'm not feeling comfortable to say such things, but it is what it is. Okay, to be transparent, because people are busy with their lives. Okay, and especially kind of in Dubai, the playground area where the child can go jump in the, I don't know, in the play with sand, jump with the play with grass, and walk around, be on their own. So establishing basic skills, establishing basic understanding, developing cognitive functions, neuroplasticity. It's all of this is very important, especially for development of the mind, development of the brain. So yes, I think low self-esteem, which all might lead to depression. Yeah.
What is the youngest age in your practice? Youngest age depression child you are treated?
Youngest child with depression, it was 8 years old. They came with me not with the question of a depression, they came with me with the question that they have the child has a self-harm, and they don't understand child is brilliant, family is amazing, everything is there, everything is very taken care. So they could not find understanding or the reasons what exactly kept happening and what might have led to such causes. It took us, like, I would say, not 3 sessions to be transparent with you. It took us, I think, more of 6 to 7 sessions to understand the child is gifted. Gifted, yes. Okay, when we hear gifted, we kind of think, okay, it's some kind of special strengths. Yes, it's special strengths, but also it's coming with their own weaknesses, right? So if you don't develop your strengths, okay, and if you don't provide the area for them to develop, it's becoming very internalized. So instead of expressing things, they're taking inside, and then it might lead to self-harm or depression, such things.
Very interesting. It's a very interesting, good point. What from this question, I would like to ask you another question. What is the important for the parents to notice in their child behavior to understand there is red flags? So they need to seek for the help. They need to take it seriously.
I think one of the red flags I would highly recommend is that there are, we can say, oh, everything is a red flag, or child is crying, or child is throwing tantrums, or child is anger, or child can't sleep alone. I think we have, all of us have like basic understanding of things, okay? Because to check every single, oh, my child is crying, oh, maybe they're depressed, oh, my child is not sleeping, oh, maybe there is attachment issues. So, you know, so label things is very easy. And then we start doubting myself. So I think just not taking this part, I would always suggest is that if you feel something is going on, something is not right, if something like clicks in your mind, then okay, come and ask or start reading things. Okay, but not just, okay, let me check what is ADHD. Oh, maybe my child has ADHD. Oh, what is ODD? Not like, not from this perspective. No more of natural
You know,
way.
in Dubai, parents most of the time they're busy working, and when they meet child at home, they expect, I guess, from the child good behavior, but kids sometimes misbehave, and parents feel there is something wrong with the child. What is it about misbehaving and being unstable emotionally? What actually deep inside the child that let him misbehave, that let him actually express himself as misbehaving or throwing tantrums?
I think misbehaving and throwing tantrums is one of the reasons. It's like one of the consequences. And what are the reasons behind that is that they are not understand themselves, and the people around them don't understand them as well. Okay. So what I mean is that I believe each child or every single human being in this world is totally unique. There is not a formula. Okay, you have this, that means you have this. Okay. So a lot of children, they are born with different mind structure. What I mean to say is that they might be extremely sensitive, just the way they are born. Okay, so there might be sensory concerns, such as like they're sensitive on skin and sensory on sounds, they're sensory on hair, they're sensory on of touching things, smelling, taste, and we are thinking like, okay, they just say. For example, I know sometimes children are screaming and say, "Mommy, it's too loud, stop doing it, stop hair dying," or something like this, right? But for us, like, come on, stop complaining, what's going on, right? So because for us it's kind of normal, and we are, as adults, we got used to it, but for them, we don't understand that sometimes the intensity of things is not regular, is way too much, and then it's leading to misbehaving. This is the way I see.
And can you tell me, now these days it's very common issue, ADHD. A lot of children have ADHD. Adults discovered that they had ADHD. Um, Do you work with children with ADHD?
Yes, we work with children with ADHD. It's quite popular nowadays. As we all know, ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. There are two types. Okay, so some of them call inattentive. Inattentive, it means they're very fidgeting, they can't focus, they are thinking of million things at the same time. So people might notice like, okay, oh, did I turn off the iron, did I put this, did I do my homework, did I watch this, did I eat this? So it's like million of thoughts at the same time, and it's not something they can do. Okay, and another type of ADHD, it would be like very fidgeting behavior, so they're very hyper. Okay, I want to jump, I want to do something. Okay, what is it? So it's like a lot of, their body has a lot of energy. Okay, so again, which has to be structurized, it has to be built up, it has to be understand, it has to be understand what the child likes, what their preferences and hobbies or activities, so you can help them to build a structure for themselves.
Mhm. So there is a kind of therapy that helps a child to be more productive, to be more quiet. I mean, the calm down, he would be able to calm himself down. What about emotional? Some kids are very emotional. The emotions can reach very high level. Are they able to, after therapy, they able to cope with their emotions?
Yes, we call it. We even have like emotional wheel. So sometimes we start our session with like emotional wheel. How do you feel? What's happening? And sometimes it takes them a while to understand what means each emotion. How does it look like? Which I even ask them. Okay, show me this, show me that. If you will feel this, show me how your body would look like. What would you say? Show me on your face. So not like, okay, just sitting and then you're not talking. It's just kind of with play and take them to the point that they understand what every single thing. So let's say if they come out of my session and there's something has happening, which life has happened to every one of us, they can say a sentence, for example, I am very angry, please give me some time.
Okay.
I'm not able to understand, or I'm very upset, I want to do this. Okay, so they can establish boundaries, they can establish good communication, and what exactly happening.
Okay, can you tell me if there is like peak of anger? Do you think he can do all this? What you just said, it sounds easy, but I just wondering practically, is it really possible for child to calm down if there is suddenly burst of aggression? He can. What are techniques for parents they can teach their children in that case?
Okay, I think we are, as adults, we are not capable of stopping ourselves at the point of anger, especially when something has happened huge. We're like, and started. Okay, there's not like, okay, let me breathe, let me count till 10. No, it's gone. Someone hit your car, like, you're ready to fight. Flight or fight mode, of course. So I do understand, and I'm not saying something beautiful, magical word that, okay, it's time to cool down, it's time to that, okay. But as a technique, or for a parent, for example, very, very simple thing is that, let's say, child is outburst, anger, something. Oh, mommy, I'm angry, I'm happening, this. So, not trying to close her down in a way that stop doing it, stop shouting, because we as adults, we are quite often also think what other people would think about us as a parent. They would think I'm a bad parent. Okay, so which
I
is
see.
very important. Like, we are afraid of being criticized by other people, which we shouldn't think about that. Okay, so allowing your child to do what they want to do, to what exactly happening, okay, but till a certain point. For example, my child is crying or extremely shouting, extremely angry. It's like, I stay calm, because it's very important that you don't involve yourself into this emotion, into that kind of feeling. I see you're angry. What can we do? I see you're sad. What happened? Mommy, I don't know, mommy. And then it starts the emotion, but you stay there, you stay in front of them, you hug, you hold whatever contact you're comfortable, whatever your child is comfortable with. You let them take it out and then find a solution.
And what is the piece of advice you would give to parents with ADHD kids related to focus, lack of focus?
Okay, I think one of the ADHD issues, especially why it's so popular nowadays, is because a lot of food has been changed in original ingredients.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there is a lot of sugar. Okay, and sugar is the worst enemy for ADHD. So what is sugar? Sugar is high, fast absorbing glucose, which gives us a lot of energy, which we don't need as a humans. Especially nowadays, we don't have a lot of physical labor. We are mostly with computers, children at school. So it's not like, okay, you go explore the world, you build, you work with your body. No. When you ask me, especially with nowadays, even ADHD, have a lot of people, a lot of adults have noticed they have ADHD, right? Why they start noticing? Because their body is just doing regular work. They come home, work, office, sometimes gym, okay, but still it's not enough. Mostly it's a lot of sitting. So our body doesn't need so much sugar as it's consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And even they say like sugar is kind of like drug addictive, and I think
Right. Yeah.
it's have healthy diet is one of the basic foundation.
Mm-hmm. That's important. And is there any technique to help child with ADHD to focus in school?
What we suggest, and a lot of British schools, as I'm aware, a lot of American schools, the way they work is that a lot of prompting. So what does it mean? In a way that during the class and before the class, in the beginning of the class, they see the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they see, okay, first we do this task, this task, this task, you have this much time for this task, you have this much time. So you give them visualization of structure.
Okay.
Okay, and especially it's good like they tick, okay, I have finished this, I have finished this, I have finished, so they don't lose their focus. Okay, here, here. They're very hyper, they're very easy and to lose concentration, but at least they have something. Okay, I think it's one of the efficient techniques.
Okay. I think I read that as well. You can tell child that he has to look at the teacher face, not at the window. Keep looking at the window. You just look at the teacher face and concentrate. What is she saying? What is she saying? Anna, do you often find that parents blaming themselves for children to have ADHD or any other issues in their behavior?
I think it depends on family. So some parents do question why this happening with my child, and if I have done something wrong, or if I have been raising the child wrong. And I think um, there is no formula of being perfect parent and as a perfect adult, because no one gets a book, manual book. Okay, to be a parent you have to be this. Okay, it's totally everyone's life totally different. There is no formula.
Right. Parenting is really challenging. I have to say that being parent myself. Anna, do you notice any differences in with working with kids with ADHD? Is there any gender differences that girl has more than boys, or boys has something different from girls?
I think people quite often say that, for example, oh, it's just a boy. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
and especially boys, they're kind of hyperactive, so they say, oh, it's just a boy, he's just a boy, it's fine, he's just, he's so jumpy and he's running, it's like here and there, it's like, oh, he's just a boy. So a lot of ADHD diagnoses have been missed in boys, to be honest.
If you would have a chance to invent a toy for kids with ADHD or any different diagnosis, what toy it would be?
I never thought about it, to be honest. What kind of toy? I think what I would do is that I would make something such kind of like object, something which this size. It would be easy transformable. So what I mean to say is that it can change to any shape. It can be squeezy, it can be squashy, it can be stretchy, it can be hard. I don't know, some different type of temperature, because I think it's very important. Either you have anxiety, either you have low self-esteem, ADHD, anything. It's quite good if if you're busy with your hands, because our hands is something we are transforming our energy with. It's the way we are expressing ourselves. If I articulate, I show with my hands this, and you kind of build a picture in your mind, right? And same with children. It's very good for them if some kind of big emotions or feelings are going on, they play with it, they talk to themselves, they talk to this thing, and it's kind of like play therapy.
And talking about play therapy, do you use a lot of play and maybe drawing art in the session?
We use a lot of art and play therapy because I think it's very important for a child, because they don't have a good terminology or so much knowledge, and I think it will be quite boring for them. So we do a lot of drawing, a lot of playing, a lot of dolls, puppets, so they can express, for example, for family dynamics. It's very good to understand that we use a lot of puppets or mini dolls. Okay, or I use a lot of centre, if you heard about it. So centre, you build your world, you build your family with miniatures, and you can understand what exactly how a child sees his or her family.
Can you recognize family dynamic from the paintings the children do?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, it's
I wouldn't say
interesting.
it's like from first picture. Okay, you say, oh, this is A, this is B. No, okay, but yes, it gives a lot of insight. Understand what exactly. Maybe because see, mother and father they're together, it's complete family, but there is some misunderstanding, there are some conflicts. But child sees it in a different way.
Right. Yeah. Anna, can you tell me, um, to what would parents should watch at the body language of child to understand, for example, he has anxiety or there is something wrong and they don't might not see it and might miss that point.
So for anxiety, would be basic body language. It would be that they have a lot of nail biting, a lot of hand scratching, a lot of hair scratching. Sometimes girls do like this a lot of the times. You see, and they pull. So it's quite often to see.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they do leg scratching. So it's a lot of things which are connected to the body,
Right.
scratchy or itchy.
Okay.
Okay, mostly. So
Does that mean they're nervous, anxious?
nervousness, anxious, anxiety, something which they are not able to process.
All right.
Okay.
So how parents
Stress.
could help them to deal with this instead of trying to scratch
I
themselves?
suggest is that um, they do preventive therapy as a parent. Okay, they don't need to go directly for a session. Oh, I see my child is getting itchy or scratch, or they do like this. What shall I do? No, I think it's naturally we are as parent. We can just nicely and speak. Okay, what's happening? How's things at school? How's your friend? Did they know the friends? I have seen you're a bit of worried. Are you worried or no? So not saying, okay, I see your itch or scratch. What's going on? No one would ever tell you, even the child, right? And also, it's good to give some kind of fidgeting tool. It can be a lot of, there is kind of a rubber and like they do this. I think this is perfect. A lot of some things they play, something small. They can keep it in their pocket or hang on the belts or hang on the bag. So something like a slime. A lot of children like slime.
Right. Yes.
All of this is very
Play-Doh.
helpful.
Yeah.
Play-Doh. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But what about teenagers? Okay, little children, that's fine playing with Play-Doh. But what about teenagers? What they should do? They cannot play with Play-Doh, I guess. They're too older than, and especially they have other kids who they compare themselves to each other, trying to impress other siblings and other friends and someone around them.
I think for teenager, I would suggest two things. First of all, is that they should have any kind of art or creativity, which I mean to say is not sitting or drawing. It can be anything. For example, for girls, they need to teenager needs to express. So it's any type of expression. What can be? For girls, they like a lot of fashion. Okay, so anything with stitching, embroidery. Okay, for boys, I don't know, they like graffiti, doing some kind of like designing motorbikes or changing the colors of the cars and stuff. Something, it's all kind of art or creativity.
Right.
Okay? But also, I think it's very important because most of the time they are against the parents.
Yes.
Always parents want to control me, parents want to dictate me, they want to be in charge, and they kind of no. So teenagers most of the time they don't listen to a parent. As
That's
perfect
a
parent
separation process.
separation process, attachment, right? So I would highly suggest, and I suggest my clients as well, is that if you have some kind of adult, let's say I ask a mother, do you have, for example, she has a daughter, 13, 14 years old, and I would ask, do you have a lady friend, like who you're really close, you can trust? And I would ask or recommend is that your daughter go to visit her house, they go for a coffee together, they go to a mall. So it's kind of, they see other women, they see someone they can trust, there's someone they can copy, because teenager is more of about copying in the
Right,
beginning,
yeah.
right? It's not about, okay, I am what I am.
Yes.
Right? It's more of older age, but at the same time, they are with a safe framework. So they know they wouldn't do something which they shouldn't do.
Do you think sport can help teenagers to deal with stress and anxiety?
I think sport is perfect thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. Any swimming, any kind of dance, any football, basketball, gymnastics. You regulate your body. Once you regulate your body, you regulate your mind.
Anna, can you tell me what the most funniest answer you got from the child in the session who was not able to focus?
I have one girl. She's very interesting. She's extremely intelligent girl. She has ADHD, but she's kind of philosophical, even though she's very young. But the thing she would answer me is like, okay, I see you're not paying attention. What's going on? Are you worried? Are you feeling stressed? You haven't slept enough? She said, no, 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 not all of this. I said, okay, so what's going on? I think life is like a flows. You have ups and downs. So right now I'm in my one of the flows. So please give me some time. So I think I learned a lot from my children, from my patients. So yeah, the way they say it's kind of from the heart. They don't think, they don't overthink, they don't pretend. And it's hilarious. It's really funny and it's like on point.
Anna, I want to talk about a bit of your childhood, if you don't mind. Is there was something in your childhood which led you to become a psychotherapist?
I think I was always curious about mother and father and what it means to have a family, what it means. I'm the oldest in the family, so I have two brothers younger than me, and it always was curious what it means, because I was kind of feeling like they say oldest child is the most responsible one, like have to take control. And I was kind of curious, how could I help my siblings, or what I have to do, or I would say, oh mommy, he's doing this, is it correct? Or I had a kind of curiosity, and I felt over responsible.
What would you advise yourself now as a child psychotherapist to that little girl you were?
I think I would say that whatever is going to happen, it will take you to a better place. Your life would be beautiful, you will be happy, and whatever happens in this moment of time, or used to happen in that moment of life, you are will be happier and happier every single moment. But just trust that wherever you are now, it's not end. Like everything will have an end. Wherever it's good, wherever it's bad. I think that's
Nice,
it.
yeah, that's nice. Anna, and can you tell me, if not as child psychotherapist, what would you be?
I had a dream always to be a doctor. Okay, so
Mm.
my childhood dream was to be a surgeon. Okay, so I'm against any intrusive or cutting people the way they say, but I think it's a beautiful profession to be a surgeon, because, and I have a lot of respect towards doctors, is that you have a chance mm, to help someone to stay alive.
Anna, can you tell me, um, you as a therapist and person who is helping and guiding others in the therapy, how do you help yourself? Do you take a therapy yourself? Are you in therapy as well? And how do you manage emotions and stress you're facing in your job?
I think self-care is one of the most important things, especially for a therapist, because you see a lot of people, and everyone has different things going on in their life. So it's, of course, it has huge effect. So it's not like, okay, I can sit there and enjoy my life in the office. No, it's totally not, to be honest. So what I do is that I have my own supervision. I have my therapist, because this is one of the part of the profession we have, to have your own supervision, to have your own therapist. This is from professional perspective. I think from personal perspective is that I do a lot of reflective practices. I do have daily meditation. As you mentioned about sport, I do believe sport is super, super duper important. Okay, so I think the body will help with balance. So I do a lot of fitness classes. I do dancing. I do yoga.
That's interesting. That's good. Yeah. Anna, can you tell me how do you handle child who refuse to engage in the therapeutic process?
I think first thing I would recommend parents, first session, not saying you're going to a therapist. Okay. So a lot of children come to me and say, oh, this is art school. But yes, this is art school. So you're a teacher. I said, okay, today I'm a teacher. And then gradually I take them to the point that actually I'm not a teacher. And I said, then who you are? I say, there is such a word which is called therapist. And most of the children, they don't know who's a therapist. And then I explain to them that so therapist is the one who works with children, teenagers, adults, and we play a lot of games. So if you want to call me teacher or a therapist, it's kind of same. Because I think it's mostly important, it's not the way you call me or the way you phrase me, is important the results you get from sessions or results you get from the therapy.
When you come up with diagnosis, do you tell child or teenager, maybe children, they still small, they don't really understand, but teenager, do you tell them what's happening to them?
I would suggest, and I usually how I work is that I discuss it with the parents, and I think for teenagers, I don't recommend to announce diagnosis, okay, because it's kind of that you just plant the seed and you have small flower out of pot growing. And there is one lady who came up and said, oh, you have diagnosis of spectrum or you have neuro development issues. So it's give them a lot of limitations and they might believe this till end of their life. Okay, I have this, therefore I have to behave this way, or I have this and that's why I am the way I am. So they don't allow themselves to explore and try different things, try to understand their personality, their qualities, their strengths. So I would suggest do not announce it unless it's above age of 16 of minimum. Okay, and diagnosis, of course, it depends on diagnosis, and they do understand what it exactly means. Okay, so it's important to announce it or say it if it will help them to grow, to feel happier, to feel better. Yes, but otherwise, no. To be honest.
Is there cases when you announce, for example, a 16-year-old still child diagnosis, and then he was feeling like low self-esteem or low self-worth? How do you handle this? How do you work with these children?
For example, I had a lot of cases who already came up from other therapists, who came from psychiatrists, and they say, I was like, okay, why you're here? What I can help you with today? And they say, oh, my mom and the doctor said I have this. I was like, okay. So I don't give them a positive reaction. It's like, okay, let's talk about it. like, like with these big glasses and spectrum, I would say, okay, so what does it mean for you? Okay, and they say, yes, I'm impulsive, I'm aggressive, and I cannot concentrate. My mom said, and the doctor said. That's okay. So what? It's something. Let's think about what it's giving you. What kind of advantage can you take from this? You're powerful, you're strong, you're encouraging, you're brave. So instead of like, okay, you're angry and why you're angry, let's think, let's understand the reason and let's dig into it. I'm more of perspective of let's say you are expressive, let's say you're open-minded, let's say you can speak louder than other people. How can you do that? Can you be a leader? Can you go into drama classes? Can you be a speaker?
So basically, you're turning their disadvantages to advantages and make them believe that they're really good at that.
Even good people.
Wow, that's nice. Even if I would get that as an adult, I wouldn't go for that therapy. Anna, do you work with parents as well? So basically, you work with adults as well, right?
Yes, part of my work is that I work with family. So, for example, a lot of sessions we do with a child. Let's say 2-3 sessions I do with a child, and then 1 session I bring parent in. Why I do that is that my job is that to develop skills or understanding within a child of their specific behavior, because they came with issues or concern, right? And then it's not they are changing or they are transforming only with me. Okay, of course they would act differently with me, but my job is that they come out in the world and they are different people. Okay, so gradually we take mother, father, if they have other siblings. I also, it's nice to, let's say, after some period of time, to take them in, and instead of, because first thing, first reaction is that they behave as they used to before, and then I kind of slowly and gradually highlight, okay, do you remember what we said? I remember you told me once this, you want to tell your mommy about it? Okay, so I'm not like, oh, you remember we studied this, say it to your mommy now. And then I inform mommy that, or mother, that child might say things, so just keep there. Don't give a feedback, don't explain, don't be like, give a space. Give a space for a child to try something different.
Are parents really engaging in therapy, or they have maybe feel like hesitating to work with? Is it therapy just giving advice to parents to how to work with children, or it's diving into the parents as well as some of their issues or triggering points?
I think it's really depends from parents to parents. So for example, I have a lot of parents who are, let's say, they've been recommended from school, or they've been recommended from GP or from a psychiatrist to go and see me. And they go, okay, why I have to see a psychologist? I have no problem, or my child doesn't have any issues. Okay, so they might come in the session and they're very like suspicious. Or psychologists might see crazy people. My child is not crazy person. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm totally fine. So they come 1 time, 2 times. Sometimes mother coming and she sees how I am, and then next session she bring a father in, and then the father talks to me, and they kind of understand that what I am speaking about, it's very simple things. It's kind of all of us do daily, and they kind of give me a trust and responsibility on my shoulder. Then that it's. It's nothing I change within the person, or I'm not affecting or impacting drastically. It's something I help them to understand and help them noticing. Because I think therapy is like they come with me, they work with me, they come out of the world, and then they go alone. Okay, so it's important for me to work with the families so they implement the skills to make their life easier.
Anna, can you share with us experience on what is most creative coping mechanism child could come with, for example, child with ADHD or anxiety?
Um, there are different coping mechanisms I saw, for example, for anxiety. So I saw a child closer to teenager age, and they're from religious family. So one of the coping mechanisms for them for anxiety was um, if you're aware in Islam, when Muslim people before they pray, so they do a lot of I don't know how to say it. Udu. Yes, yes, yes. They do udu. So, for example, when child had a lot of anxiety in exams in school or within the family, they start pretending like they're washing themselves, like they're doing udu, and all of this, even without water and sitting like in school. So they are pretending that they're doing udu.
Interesting.
This was one of the cases. One of the cases was the girl, she had anxiety, a small girl. So she would start saying that, oh, I have mind and I have a brain. So mind is telling me this, and brain is telling me this. So mind is a good person. She's a good side of me. And brain is a bad side of me. And the brain is telling me, do this, do this, do this. And then they keep talking and they keep talking. So it's kind of the way they express. Okay? Yeah, something like this. It's
Interesting.
uh
Anna, when do you engage in the therapy with children? Do you engage from your child ego state?
Definitely. Okay. Because in order to work with children, I cannot be a serious lady. Right? I have to go to the level where we are in the same. So I'm a big child and she's a small child. okay? And then gradually I take them, because why I think it's important is that, again, saying this, that I don't want to give them rules and then they follow rules. I want them to feel that this is natural process, okay? Whatever is natural, we're kind of easy to absorb. Okay, we drink water, it's natural, we absorb, okay? We drink water with Coca-Cola, we're like, it gives gases, it gives too much funny feeling, it's very sugary and sweet, okay? So it's very important you be in the same level. I am sometimes as an adult, sometimes as a child, okay? But it's important that the child would understand boundaries.
Right.
Okay? So they play with me, we laugh, we jump, we draw and everything. But in the end of the session, we have a discussion and I give them time to take. And I usually ask, what do you take from this session? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I take this ball. I was like, okay, what is this ball about? And then they start, okay, I think it was really fun. I was like, okay, how did you behave? I was noticing I was behaving like this. I was like, okay, would it be more relaxed, more calm, more organized? Yeah, sometimes I am. And kind of like they analyze themselves. You know? They reflect. This is what we call it reflection. That this is what my regular behavior. What is sometimes I am like this, and it's interesting. I can be like this and I can be like this.
Anna, can you tell me what part of your journey people find most surprising?
I think if I would speak in terms of professional journey, my career experience, I have worked before in British school here in Dubai. And last year I have moved to a clinic, polyclinic, so it's a more of private practice kind of. This was very interesting for me. Okay, why? Because in the school, it's a school, clinic is a clinic. School, it's very strict framework. You have timing, you have to be on time, you have this and this and this. So you perform as a teacher, right? You have specific class to class, you have this. So you have very strict schedule of things. Okay, first of all. You see a huge variety of children. You see a lot of nationalities. Yes, I do see a lot of nationalities now, but in school, it was a huge, big school. Here in polyclinic is that I have more of flexible schedule. So what I mean to say is that my day starts usually way later than it was starting in the school. In school, it was starting at 7:15, so I used to wake up at 5 o'clock. Now my day starting at 10, and I wake up like 7:30, kind of. Okay. Um, in terms of work is more you're more of parent oriented, you're more oriented on results, you're more oriented how child is performing in outside work, how's life, how's hobbies, how's friendship, peer relationship. When at school is more of it was back in the days, it was positive psychology, which is quite popular within the schools.
Yeah.
And so it was like more of they're happy and they're satisfied schools, because you could not work a lot, you cannot perform or you cannot do a lot of work once you're in school, right? It's not a private sessions. It's not like you dig into what is your what's going on in the family, what's going on within the child outside of the school. So it's more of a child keep how they feel in school, how they're behaving, how they're performing, is there anything going on more within this framework. When here in clinic, I work from A to Z. So you touch a child exactly from 360 degrees, from friends, family, hobbies, interests.
Давайте что-то в нее кинем. Anna, can you tell me what group age is more rewarding to work with?
I think it's primary school, okay, starting from age of 5 up to, I would say, age to 10.
Mhm.
I think they're very plastic, they're very flexible, they're easy to pick up the context, so they're less stigmatized, they're less socially judged, because once you're a teenager, like, what my friends will think about, what my parents would say. You know, there are a lot of hormones starting after age
Right,
of 11,
yeah.
12. So they're more of socially, more into society, kind of. Okay?
Mhm.
So which gives me less flexibility on my work.
Mhm.
But again, I would say that is the toddler, child, or a teenager or young adolescent. It still is very beautiful age for them to build themselves, to work on themselves, and then grow as a happy person.
Mhm. So is it can you say that working with teenagers would be more challenging for you?
I wouldn't say it's more challenging. I think it's quite different work. Okay. For teenager, it's more of talking.
Mhm.
It's a lot of questioning.
Yeah.
because they have more of, I believe this, I am this, I'm behaving this. Okay, so I have to go like from the back door. I would usually call and say, okay, but how about this? Have you thought about it? Actually, I heard the story, and then I give them a story, and they're like, yeah, I think, and kind of
Interesting.
rethink about their thoughts. You know, not giving specific.
Do you work with the teenager to build their self-esteem?
Yes, it's quite common and it's very popular for me that for teenagers a lot of confidence, a lot of self-esteem, a lot of expressing themselves, a lot of accepting themselves. So if you notice teenagers, especially after age of, I would say 14, they start going into a lot of philosophical things. Okay, they start reading books such as, especially nowadays, generations that they read a lot of Nietzsche, they read a lot of Kafka,
Wow, that's interesting. Nice.
and they start telling me things about this life is like this, but then I think this, and it's kind of, I can't interfere. Like I cannot say, okay, how we can implement this in life. Okay, so I kind of give them example. Okay, so you read this and kind of this is what's happening. What do you think? Correlate to things which they have interest, and how we can implement this in life.
Do you keep yourself up to date to teenage trends so you can be kind of on the same level?
I think it's happening naturally,
Yeah.
to be honest, because when I asked them, oh, how was your week? What did you do? Oh, I read this, I studied this, I played this game. I was like, interesting, what is it about? Okay, and then they show me, it's like, oh, have you noticed this? So if you heard, it's kind of popular trend nowadays to be Ethereum. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Okay, so basically it's children who are believing that they are animals. Okay.
Yes, I heard something.
Yeah.
Something
So
about
they
that.
wear
Yeah.
mask, or they wear cat eye or a dog mask with a tail, and then they start jumping on their
Yeah, I think
their
I
hands and
came over that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
interesting.
popular all over the world, wherever it's Russia, UK, US.
What do you think about it? What's your opinion about that?
Whatever makes you happy, let it be. Okay, but of course it's not what it is. We can't just say to nature, okay, you cannot be a cat. Okay, they said, okay, mom, I'm leaving the house. This will be your first thing, or they just disappear. Okay, 100%. This is what either it's gonna be anger, frustration, throwing things, rebellion, or just disappearing. Okay, which we don't want as a parents, right? I think it's, as we all have been through this kind of stage of our life where we try different things. To be honest, I tried dyeing hair to go pink. Okay, someone want to be a blonde, someone wants to be a cat, someone wants to be a dog. Okay, let it be, because you're still a teenager. So I tell parents is that it's a good time to for teenager to try things. Okay, as soon as it's not hurting anyone, as soon as it's legal, as soon as safe within the ethical boundaries, let it be. Okay, because if you let all this art, a lot of expression, everything come out in the teenager, then you're less crazy person when you're adult. Okay, so you kind of you take things the way they are. You're more acceptable. You're more understanding.
Anna, how do you help children to feel safe in the session, to open up, to be able to work with them?
I think first thing is that I usually say whatever happens in this room stays within this room. Whatever we share, whatever we speak, it stays within this room. Okay. Of course, I'm responsible of keeping it confidential. Okay. But in the same time, if I see there is kind of things which don't make sense, okay, things which are kind of fishy. Usually, teenagers they also kind of like to check on you. Would you say to the mom? So they take 2-3 sessions. They tell you everything, which are totally can be totally not true. Okay, they haven't done these things. They haven't said these things, but they're just checking their ground.
Wow.
Okay. So I tell parents, I do tell them what we have spoken in the sessions, but I tell them, please do not react. Give me some time to understand if this is actually happen or it's not. Okay, because if you want to build trust, I have to build trust with the child, same as I'm building with any of you, with adult, with the caretakers. I need time, and once I do establish and I do notice things exactly that needs your attention, I will immediately let you know. Okay. And I think for either it's teenager, either it's child, in order for them to trust me, is that I think for me it's important to be myself. Is that I'm not like, okay, I'm a doctor, I'm perfect, I'm sitting here, I'm with glasses and my suit. No, is that I'm a normal human being. I have my ups and downs, I have my mood swings and everything, as all of us. And I do share my stories. For example, that when I was a teenager, I saw this or this kids in my school or in my class. They say, "Oh, really? It was same for you as well?" I was like, "Yeah, imagine." So, okay, and it makes them think that okay, it's not something has happened to them only. Okay, especially I think same with adults. Let's say if you tell your friend, "Oh, you know, this has happened," she's like, "It happened to me before," and you kind of it gives you like peace. It's like, you know, it's like honey on your honey on your soul. I would like to say there is a Russian saying about that is that you give yourself peace once you speak up.
What would be advice for parents who is hesitating to come to you to seek for help as a to the child psychotherapist?
I think it's understanding that therapy or seeing a psychologist is nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, it's just as understanding yourself as adult and understand your child. Okay, whatever you call it, it's a therapist, psychologist, therapist, OT, speech therapist, whatever it is. It's like if something is not you're not happy, it's like you go to GP, right? You go to say, doctor, oh, I have migraines, I'm not sleeping well. You're not shameful to go and ask, right? So it's same, there is nothing wrong about it, right? Physical health as important as emotional health is like, and I would say even quite opposite is that firstly it starts within our mind and then something happening within our body.
Right. Yeah. I can add as a psychologist myself
Oh
and
wow.
being in therapy for more than almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that it changed quality of your life, and you can perform better at work.
Mm-hmm.
You can perform better as a parent when you understand. First of all, you understand yourself, your emotions, your triggers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you deal with it. You face it. You're becoming a better person for yourself and a better parent for your children, and maybe better friend sometimes. So it's really improving your quality of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Anna, what is your opinion as a preventing measure? Do you think every child should be brought to a psychotherapist?
I think, and I would highly suggest, yes. Okay, please don't take me wrong. Okay, but I think it's very important. Okay, it's very important to get understanding exactly what's happening in early intervention, in early age, so then you have a lot of insights. You see a child as a pure the way they are. Okay, and you can exactly guide them. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to continue going to a therapy. It's this is much session. Is that you can just come visit, you can have a discussion, you can say I noticed this or I feel or my child saying such things, and it's something I don't understand as an adult. Okay, maybe it's different generation. So it's more even about it shouldn't be something like scientific or something very medical. It's more about of having a very simple discussion of a person who can give you a different perspective, and then you can decide. It makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I think it's gonna work out or not. But as a preventive medicine or measure, I would recommend.
Anna, what would you add or twist in the school educational system
Mhm.
these days to help children to be more self-worth, to feel themselves self-worth, and to have high self-esteem about themselves?
I work with many schools. Okay, so I see a lot of schools, starting from British schools, many other international schools here in Dubai. Why it's difficult for me to answer this question, because what impacting a child of self-worth and self-esteem is a lot of, let's say, bullying. Okay, but nowadays schools take a lot of measures against the bullying. Okay, they immediately highlight it once it's noticeable, once the child has said something, once some of the peers have something to the teacher. So school really take care a lot about bullying things. Okay, if I take from this perspective. And also, schools have a lot of ACA, they call it,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah,
extracurricular
curriculum activity.
activities
Mm-hmm.
where child has so much choice on trying different things, starting from computer, coding, stitching, embroidery, bracelets, football, swimming, fashion designing, singing, drama. So there is a huge spectrum of things after the lessons where the child can try themselves, can express themselves, which has a beautiful impact on self-worth, self-esteem. So I think it's not what schools could add or twist. Maybe it's more about to emphasize your child to attend such ECs,
Mm-hmm.
to try
Mm-hmm.
things, to discover what they like, what they don't like.
Are you trying to say that having skills can improve self-esteem for children?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Once you have developed, I love your question and I love the way you ask. See, a totally experienced person, okay?
Mother,
And a mother,
psychologist, and
and a
mother.
mother. So knowledge and experience, which beautiful and comes all
Thank you.
together, right? Definitely skills. Even as adults, let's say we want to find a job, we want to build a partnership, a relationship, we want to make friends. What do we need? We need skills, right? So building skills are very important. Okay? It's not about only education or if you have all kind of luxurious toys or kind of things you had, what kind of house. Of course, it's important, it's basic needs, but it's also important that you as a parent, we as a parents, we invest our time and our finance in developing skills. So once your child is grown up, they know that I'm capable A, B, C, D, E, F, and they don't
Right.
have a fear of trying new things. Because
That's very
I know a
important.
bit of
Yeah.
fear, I know a bit of fear, I know a
Yeah.
bit of fear.
Can you say as well that the achievements of child as well can improve his self-esteem and boost his hormonal state? Dopamine, I guess they get a dopamine once they achieve something, and they feel more confident. They feel they're worthy of something. They just not random stuff.
Definitely, I think so. Once you have achieved some goals, right? You won a prize, you won a medal, like you feel amazing, right? You feel proud of yourself, you feel empowered, you feel, and then once you have this kind of feeling within yourself, like, hey, buddy, you can do also. Come on, come on, come on, right? So we also tempted to share those with people who are around us. So definitely, it's very important.
Anna, can you advise parents who are trying to help children to improve their self-esteem, how they could deal with frustration? Because a lot of children, they cannot um, hold and they cannot deal with frustration. They get disappointed very fast. They get emotional too fast. What would you advise to parents?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think frustration can come from different reasons. Okay, what can be underneath of it? So let's say frustration is emotion, right, which we have to deal with, but it's also have a reason. So I would break into two parts in a way that, okay, how do we deal with our emotions, how we can manage them, and frustration is such as anger, sadness, hate, anxiety. It all goes under this big box of big hard feelings, the way psychologists like to say it, right? So it will be more of knowledge and the practice of how to manage those emotions. Okay, but from this side, it will be also understanding what have caused this frustration. Okay, either it's low self-esteem, either it's that you got a moment where you got embarrassed, you were not able to speak up or present something, right? Or someone has something about you, like especially teenagers, like, oh, look at her, something like this, right? So it's two things: processing emotions and understanding what exactly have caused them, right? And what exactly have caused them, it's also good experience that you share your experience with them. That this again, this happened with me, and I had felt same way, because we all had felt same way at some point of our life.
Right.
These two
Yeah.
things together.
Anna, if child ruled the world for one day, what do you think would happen?
I think it would be a lot of love. It will be a lot of joy. It will be a lot of fun. Because nature of a child is that they are not limited, they are not touched, I would like to say. So they never have bad intentions. I never saw a child with wanting to harm someone. It's a lot of freedom, freedom in a good way, uh, freedom for expressing yourself, freedom of allowing yourself, be yourself, accepting others.
Блин, они... Откуда они взялись? Их никогда здесь не было. То, блин, лодки, то птички, то... Смешные. Anna, I would like to ask you three final questions I usually ask all guests. Can you tell us what, in difficult time when you have a lot of obstacles, what keep you going?
I think it would be kind of simple answer I would give is that do believe in what you are going to do. Okay, is that visualize how exactly you are taking yourself there. Let's say you want to become a psychologist, you want to become engineer, you want to build a family, you want to find a friend. So do imagine yourself there. It's perfect to do it in the morning when you just wake up and imagine yourself that you already have such things. Okay, that you already having a partner, the way you hold hands, the way you hug, the way you talk to each other, the way you walk somewhere. Visualize a final picture. And remember, it's just a matter of time till you reach that point. Okay.
Thank you, Anna. And one more question. What would you want our audience to remember about your story?
I think it's kind of interesting because each of us watch one story, but every time we take something what is important for us. Okay, it's not like, let's say, oh, this lady said something like this in the end, and all of us would think about, oh, she said this. Is that you watching my video, you say, oh, she said something like this, and someone would watch my video, say something like this. Okay, so I would say, I would even more say from my side is that it was my pleasure of speaking with you, Irina. It was my pleasure of introducing people into child psychology. Either you're in Russia, either you are in Dubai or any other country. It was a beautiful experience from my side, and it was such an honor to. It's kind of open a door into child psychology and have a peek about it. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm grateful to everyone wherever you're taking from this video, and I would be more grateful if you would let me know what kind of questions you're interested of. If there is any specific, so please write to Irina or write in comments, and I can share my knowledge with you.
That would be very helpful. If you have any questions to Anna, you can have access to her personal page and ask your questions as well. Don't hesitate. Mental health is very important, and child mental health is very important as well. Anna, I would like to thank you. Thank you for your time. It was very interesting talk. A lot of interesting subject we open up here. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you for inviting me here. My pleasure. Thank you.